What is going on, everybody? Xaenca back with another video for you. And just when I think it's reached as far as it could go, the support from you guys pushes beyond anything I ever expected on this site, so I just want to thank you all for that. As always, links to the previous videos are in the description down below if you did happen to miss them, and if you do end up enjoying this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. So in the last video, we went over how Rotten Tomatoes has censored the fan criticism and decided to remove the not interested option, the want to see percentage altogether, because that is in relation to being able to say you're not interested in seeing the movie, as well as the ability to comment on upcoming movies, because again that went hand in hand with that want to see not interested option, but they removed all these things from the website in its entirety. I gave a couple of reasons why, one being that Disney pushed Rotten Tomatoes to do it, the other being Rotten Tomatoes is owned by Fandango, so they just want all movies to be able to do well, especially one that they've been touting as, oh, the pre-sale tickets for Captain Marvel are breaking all sorts of records, it's doing so well. Obviously they want that gravy train to keep going, they want to keep selling those tickets on Fandango, so can't be having no want to see percentage in the 20s, you kidding me? And everybody's been speculating as to reasons why they did it. They all revolve around Captain Marvel. Obviously the timing is just too predominant to ignore, so imagine my surprise when I see this article from CNET. The headlines, Rotten Tomatoes president, we didn't change site to protect Captain Marvel. Please elaborate, President Tomato. Review site Rotten Tomatoes is instituting some changes, leading many to believe it's responding to the recent controversy over the site's Captain Marvel page. Because it is. But Paul Yanover, president of Fandango, which owns the site, told CNET that's not the whole story. I don't know, CNET, that sounds like you concede that it's at least part of it. In case you were snapped away by Thanos in Avengers Infinity War and thus missed the recent controversy, here's a recap. Captain Marvel doesn't come out until March 8, but users were already leaving negative comments about the film on Rotten Tomatoes, a process dubbed review bombing, by complete and utter morons. Many recent comments seem to come from those who are angry at star Brie Larson for being a racist and sexist bitch. I don't know about this article, CNET, I've filled in a lot of holes so far. But let's see what Mr. Tomato Head Paul Yanover has to say. The changes are not simply a reaction to, oh gee, there's some noise created around certain movies, Yanover told me. Yes, some adjustments are aimed as what he calls noise reduction, when high-profile films such as Captain Marvel or Star Wars movies attract trolls with agendas. But as a whole, these changes are part of a long-term site strategy, he said. What's that strategy, you ask? Get woke, go broke, of course. I love that the only two examples that could be given are Disney examples. We talked about it in the last video, but Solo, a Star Wars story, lost somewhere between $50 and $200 million at the box office, which is fascinating because 10 years ago you would not be able to convince me that a Star Wars movie could flop, let alone lose money, Jesus Christ. Obviously that is direct backlash to The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens prior, because it just went into decline movie after movie and people just got sick of the SJW nonsense, much like what Disney's doing to Captain Marvel now and the Marvel Cinematic Universe moving forward, because it hits all the same talking points. When The Last Jedi still made a ton of money, people were like, see, it works, woke movies sell, but the impact is not felt until future releases. People let go, they don't keep hanging on. They hung on for The Last Jedi, at least 70% did, but you just pushed them off the cliff. Anyway, what I'm getting at is both the Marvel Cinematic Universe and Star Wars are Disney franchises. There was a video put out by Geeks and Gamers talking about how Star Wars Episode 9 was also receiving the same kind of backlash from the fans. That much like Captain Marvel and Solo before it, people were going to Rotten Tomatoes and voting not interested, and the want to see percentage for that movie was on a rapid decline as well. And in a video by Anna, that Star Wars girl, she talks about how Paul Yanover used to work for Disney before Fandango. So if you look it up, you'll see that Paul Yanover's start began at Walt Disney Feature Animation in the 90s. The earliest record I can find of this is he's credited as an engineering supporter for 1991's Beauty and the Beast. In 1999, he left for a few years to try to start his own company, but he returned to Walt Disney Company in 2002, where he eventually became the head of Disney Online, overseeing Disney.com, online games, and the company's online movie streaming service, among other properties. And he was at Disney until 2012 before getting his position at Fandango. So that's nearly 2 decades of working for Disney under Paul Yanover's belt. Now Anna made a comment about that I completely second, and it's that after working for Disney for that long, you've obviously made friends in high places over there. I'm sure a few of you that are watching this that have worked in a corporate entity as I do know that this is a fact. that when people move around from company to company, they retain their relationships with their priors. And that's how favors between companies are made all the time. Because yes, on one hand, I still do believe it's in Fandango's best interest to keep all of the buzz around every single movie positive moving forward, especially ones that could make a ton of money like Disney ones, and rake in all of those glorious ticket sales through the Fandango website and ticket app. And if this also does a favor to his former colleagues at Disney, it's a win-win for him. But the tickets essentially are what the long-term site strategy is in his eyes, in my opinion. CNET then goes on to talk about the comments that were being made on the site about why people did not want to go watch Captain Marvel, and much like all sites, they usually do the Marie Claire interview and then relate that to people saying, oh, she hates white men. Whatever the user's opinion on Larson, the comments don't pretend to review the film. Expressing that you don't want to see a movie is not a review, Janover said. Exactly. There you have it, SJW media morons. The president himself says that it is not a goddamn review. Janover too has seen those social media reports claiming his site cut some secret deal with Disney and say they're absolutely false. None of the site is owned by Disney, he said, noting that the idea that there was some predestined arrangement between ourselves and Disney is completely untrue. Bullshit, Paul. We just went over how you worked for Disney for nearly 2 decades before working for Fandango. The changes apply to all movies on the site, not just Disney or Universal or Warner Brothers films, and Janover stresses that this doesn't mean reviewers can't leave negative reviews. When the movie's available, reviewers can write, he said, but users are still required to conform to the site's established rules regarding hate speech and bigotry. We don't want people to use this as a political platform, he said. But what happens when the bigotry is coming from the star of the movie herself and the fans of that star? I asked Janover why the site ever allowed users to review a movie before it came out in the first place. Now, the author of this article put quotation marks around review, so I'm going to assume that she's air quoting as she's saying it to him, or even just possibly trolling in some way or making light of the situation, especially when she pointed out that these comments are not meant to be reviews. He notes that the site turns 21 years old in 2019 and credits that option to an earnest desire to capture fan anticipation when the site was designed. Another way to capture fan anticipation was Rotten Tomatoes' want-to-see percentage score, which noted fans' pre-release interest level in a film. That was confusing, Janover said, in part because once the film opened, the want-to-see percentage was physically replaced with a completely different percentage score, the audience percentage score, showing the percentage of all users who have rated the movie or TV show positively. It wasn't confusing though, one was a want-to-see percentage and one was an audience rating. One clearly stated, this percent of people want to see it, and then when the movie came out, this percent of people liked it. What was so confusing about that? You have to be a complete and utter retard to think that that's confusing. Those who react strongly when sites make changes, be warned, Rotten Tomatoes isn't done yet. Additional changes to the site's reviewing and filtering systems may be coming later. Rotten Tomatoes may eventually tie into the Fandango ticket purchasing system or other ticket systems, showing that a reviewer did indeed buy a ticket to the movie. It's not unlike how Amazon notes when a book review is written by a verified purchaser of the book, and readers may be able to one day filter reviews as they choose. For example, a user who generally likes Marvel films may be able to choose to read write-ups from those who feel similarly. In my opinion, Rotten Tomatoes already lost whatever shred of credibility they had left. They were already skating on thin ice with their far-left bias, when as an aggregator of something like reviews, you need to be a centrist, and not lean one way or the other as far as political belief sets. And if they make it where you can only leave reviews if you can verify your ticket purchase through Fandango or any other ticketing company that has made a deal with them, that are paying them money, that's just a scam in my opinion. Jesus Christ. Janover knows these possible changes won't please everyone either, but the updates are a work in progress. This is not the end, this is the beginning, he said. We know that Rotten Tomatoes is a highly visible product, and we're committed to being really good stewards. No, you're not. That died when Fandango purchased Rotten Tomatoes. So there you have it, more bullshit from bullshit artists. Before we go, I just want to clarify, a few of you guys commented about the whole Zachary Levi thing, giving me more information about it. And a few SJWs have been commenting this terrible video by a person named John CAMPEA saying, oh, you need to watch this and stop spreading misinformation. I watched a small amount of it and I was just, my mind was going numb from how stupid this guy is. See, unlike you SJWs, I actually make an attempt to listen to your arguments. In the pursuit of knowledge and the truth, sometimes it's good to listen to opposing ideas, but unfortunately, this video is complete and total garbage. I'm sorry. Before I make just a few comments on that video, Ethan Van Sciver put out a video on the Comic Artist Pro Secrets channel titled John CAMPEA's Brie Larson Captain Marvel video destroyed in 6 minutes or less, where John CAMPEA brings up that same thing that I talked about in the last video with Zachary Levi recording a video defending Captain Marvel. But in Ethan Van Sciver's video, he explains that this was a separate controversy altogether, where people were sending fake reviews on Twitter, and like I said, a few of you guys commented this to me as well, and thank you guys for informing me. But I don't want to take away too much from Ethan's video. You guys should check it out and subscribe to his channel, as well as everybody I mentioned in this video so far. Geeks and Gamers, That Star Wars Girl, very good channels. But this is just a screen capture from Ethan's video, and as you can see, it does tie into what Zachary Levi was saying, so that is a complete separate issue altogether, I guess. Has nothing to do with the whole Brie Larson anti-men thing, which is putting the pieces of the puzzle together, because otherwise that Zachary Levi made zero sense whatsoever. Now, as far as my comments on the John CAMPEA video, this is a shot of his arguments. I'm not going to show any clips from his video, because honestly, he looks like the type that would copy strike. But his arguments are basically that Brie Larson never said I hate white men, she never said I don't want white men to see my movie, I don't want to do interviews with white men, and I don't want white press at my press junkets. He goes through each of these and he fact checks that she never said that. And this is a defense that SJWs use all the goddamn time. She never actually said that. She didn't say that. She even clarified it. She just wants more seats at the table. It's so goddamn stupid. And I can't believe I'm having to explain this again. The first quote, I don't need a 40-year-old white dude to tell me what didn't work about A Wrinkle in Time. It wasn't made for him, quote.
I do not need a 40-year-old white dude to tell me what didn't work for him about A Wrinkle in Time. It wasn't made for him.
Are the words that set the foundation for the idea that she hates white men, because that quote is saying that because a movie was not made for the white man, his opinion on it is invalid, solely because he is white, just for his skin color. And you can say you don't hate white dudes as much as you want after that. You said it 3 fucking times.
So, am I saying that I hate white dudes? No, I'm not. But what I am saying is, and I'm also saying I don't hate white dudes. And for the 3rd time, I don't hate white dudes.
If you have to say that over and over again, I don't know about that. But do we really live in a day and age where if we don't say something directly, like in this case, she's not saying directly that she hates white men, that you're free to make racist or prejudiced statements? Is that really where we're at? What about other forms of hate speech? Is that free as well? Because remember Mel Gibson's effing Jews are responsible for all the wars in the world quote that set the world on fire, calling him anti-Semitic and all that business? Because much like Brie Larson's I don't hate white dudes, to follow that up, he follows it up by saying I'm not anti-Semitic. What about when Manny Pacquiao said that, do you see animals mating with the same sex? Animals are better because they can distinguish male from female. If men mate with men and women mate with women, they are worse than animals, quote. He never directly said he hates gays and lesbians, guys. Do you see how absurd that is? The Crystal and Lucy Award speech, the TSA agent Me Too accusation, the patriarchy ringing on my parade, my press tours are overwhelmingly white male. She is insinuated time and time again that she has a clear disdain for men and white people. Whether or not she said it directly is irrelevant, and it fucking blows my mind how many of you SJWs use that as your primary argument. Are you kidding me? But what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and share it with your friends, family, the internet as a whole. And subscribe with notifications, ring that alarm so you can be alerted every time I make another one of these buffalo chicken wings. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.